Hello viewer, welcome to the YouTube channel FahadYounas. Today I will discuss the topic proteins and structure of proteins. Introduction to proteins. Proteins are large complex molecules made up of amino acids that are essential for the structure and function of cells and tissues. What are proteins? Proteins are large complex molecules essential for life. They are made up of long chains of amino acids. The structure of a protein determines its functions. Amino acids, the building blocks of proteins. Proteins are made up of long chains of amino acids folded into complex 3D structures. The sequence of amino acids determines the protein's function. Levels of protein structure. Proteins have four levels of structure: primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary. The primary structure is a linear sequence of amino acids. The secondary structure results from hydrogen bonding between amino acids. Folding and misfolding of proteins. Proteins fold into specific 3D structures to carry out their function. Misfolded proteins can lead to diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. Structure of proteins. Point 1. Amino acids. Proteins are made up of amino acids, which are organic compounds. There are 20 stranded amino acids that can be folded in proteins. Amino acids have a central carbon atom bonded to four groups: an amino group, a carboxylic group, a hydrogen atom, and a side chain of R group, which varies among different amino acids. Point 2. Peptide bonds. Amino acids are linked together by peptide bonds, which form when the amino groups of one amino acid reacts with the carboxylic group of another amino acid. This results in a linear chain called a polypeptide. Point 3. Primary structure. The primary structure of a protein is the linear sequence of amino acid in the polypeptide chain. The specific sequence of amino acids is determined by the genetic code and can vary greatly from one protein to another. Point 4. Secondary structure. Secondary structure refers to the local folding patterns within a protein. The two most common types of secondary structure are alpha helicals and beta sheets. These structures are stabilized by hydrogen bonds between the amino acids in the polypeptide chain. Point 5. Tertiary structure. The tertiary structure is the overall three-dimensional arrangement of a protein. It results from interactions between amino acid side chains, including hydrogen bonds, ionic bonds, hydrophobic interactions, and disulfide bonds. Tertiary structure determine the protein's specific shape and functions. Point 6. Quaternary structure. Some proteins are composed of multiple polypeptide chains or subunits. The arrangement and interactions between these subunits form the quaternary structure of a protein. Hemoglobin, for example, is a quaternary protein composed of four subunits. Point 7. Protein folding. Protein folding is a complex process in which a linear polypeptide chain spontaneously assumes its functional three-dimensional structure. Proteins fold into their native conformation to maximize stability and functionally. Misfolding can lead to disease like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. Point 8. Protein functions. Proteins have a wide range of function, including enzymes that catalyze chemical reactions, structural proteins that provide support to cells and tissues, transport proteins that move molecules within the body, antibodies that are part of the immune system. These signally protein that regulate various cellular processes. Classification of proteins. Proteins can be classified into various categories based on different criteria, such as their structure, function, source, or genetic origin. Here are some common ways to classify proteins. Structural classification. Fibrous protein. These proteins have elongated filamentous structures and provide mechanical support and strength to issue. Examples include collagen and creatine. Globular proteins. These proteins have compact spherical shapes and are typically involved in biochemical processes. Examples include enzymes, antibodies, and some hormones. Functional classification. Enzymes, proteins that catalyze chemical reactions and are involved in various metabolic processes. Transport proteins, proteins that facilitate the movement of molecule. Example, hemoglobin for oxygen transport. Structural proteins, proteins that provide support and shape to cell and tissues. Hormones, signally proteins that regulate various physiological processes. Antibodies, immune system proteins that help fight infections. Receptor proteins, proteins on cell surface that bind to specific ligands. Example, neurotransmitter receptors. Motor proteins, proteins is responsible for cellular movement. Example, myosin in muscle contraction. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my knowledge or proteins and their structures with you today. We appreciate your support for FahadYounas channel. Please consider sharing, liking, and subscribing to our channel. Thank you for sharing my video.